As a psychic, what it is that I do is that I tune into people and I pick up things that have happened in their past, things that are going on in their current situations, romance, finance, career, health, family, opportunities that are coming up in the future. And I'm really kind of giving them a roadmap of what is that they can look for to really have the best possible futures. As a medium, what one does and what I do is connect with people, and I pick up communications that they have coming to them from people who they love who've crossed over. Not every psychic has the ability to also speak to the departed. Not every medium has the ability to predict the future. I just happen to have used and trained in both of those. So I kind of combine them and give everything. What we do is I don't ask for any information going into the reading. They just come to me. We meet in my office, sit down, really going, as if you were going to any kind of business consultation. But what we're going to be talking about is the paranormal. And I don't ask for any background information. What I do is I just ask to hold each person's hands. And as I'm holding their hand, I'm actually starting to tune into their energy. You walk around with an energy uniquely your own. People often call this the aura. I call it spirit. And I can tap into that, again, ESP, Sixth Sense, and I pick up information that is important for you to know, again, to navigate smoothly all different areas of your life. When we are connecting and somebody's coming to me to have a medium reading, it's basically the same process. But when I hold their hands, I'm actually kind of opening up a little further to include the people that they have loved who've passed on, that will naturally kind of come close to them, knowing that they have the opportunity to communicate through me. This time of year is known for what we call the veil between the two worlds being the thinnest. And so people, again, will be thinking more about loved ones. Again, doesn't hurt that there are people running around and looking like ghosts and lots of paranormal shows airing on TV. But it does kind of make us stop and think about the afterworld. Not just candy and costumes. You know, the afterlife is a very present theme during Halloween. And so, yeah, the phone rings off the hook. Yeah.
Great.
When trying to communicate with your own loved ones, you really want to kind of make a time and space for this. I have a lot of clients that say, you know, I just don't feel them around me. You know, the person's been gone. I love them. I look for signs. I look for signals. I do all of this, and I just am not feeling the connection with the person that's departed. And when we look at what's going on in their life, quite often that they're so hectic, they're so busy that they really wouldn't be able to feel if a sign was coming through just because they're running around all the time. We're all very much high-paced with this. So the first thing that I suggest to people is to just take a half hour. Do it in the evening when it's quiet, when there's not a lot of the activities for the day. And, you know, take a half hour and sit down and think about the people that you'd like to communicate with, or person. You want to really sit down and really think about that person. I always say keep a little piece of paper and pen if you want to write down a couple questions that you would like to have answered. Write down the names of the people that you'd like to communicate with. Write down a couple questions that you'd like to find out from them. You know, if you were having a conversation with the person who's departed, what would you like to know? I like to set the stage, set the theme. You're really pretty much inviting somebody that you love who have departed to connect with you and come over. And why not do it like you would if you were inviting friends over to your house for any other reason? So flowers are nice. Candles, wonderful thing. Light a candle. It helps with concentration. Again, it also sets just a lovely theme, a lovely tone. I like burning incense. I use the old-fashioned kind of incense where you have to use a charcoal. But they say that the smoke billowing up high can carry the messages up into the sky. So I'm going to use a little incense. I'm going to use this one. Spiritual High. What do you think? That's kind of a nice name, isn't it? Spiritual High. It smells good.
It smells very good.
Okay, we're going to use a little bit of that. I'm going to put that in here. I have a crystal ball here. Crystal balls are always fun for just adding a little panache and also helps to focus the energy. Any kind of way that we can focus our concentration really helps to set the stage for this. And if you have pictures that you have of a loved one who you're trying to contact, put that around. And again, just make it a nice, quiet, pretty space. And get yourself quiet, take a couple deep breaths, breathe in. As you're breathing in, use your own abilities to visualize, to bring a picture of that person. You know, hold that picture of that person's loving, kind face looking at yours. Take a moment just to feel what senses you have, you know, that are being awakened as you're getting into this more meditative state. One of the things that I tell my clients is that the communications that we have with loved ones, when they've passed, it's like another stage of a relationship with somebody. You know, when we move through different stages of relationships, the way that we communicate with each other changes. And really, what's changing now, since they are not in a body, since they're not in physical form, the ways that you communicate with each other are going to have to be new and learned. People get signs, you know, people find pennies, people find feathers, people will see different animals that they associate with, you know, somebody will see a butterfly, somebody will see a ladybug. Often people will turn on a radio and there's a song that comes through that has personal meaning from them. And here in New Orleans, I mean, we really are we are the most haunted city in the whole world. And I've traveled a lot, but here it's just like nothing else that you've ever witnessed. I mean, we incorporate the dead into our daily life. And it really, the level of paranormal activity that happens here and the openness to connect with spirits on the other side is higher here than any place else.
So like in life, New Orleans is a good place to come and party for the dead.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that absolutely it is, and and for a lot of different reasons. We have a lot of different, you know, layers. It's a lot of different flavors to our psychic gumbo, spiritual gumbo here. We're old. We're dramatic. We really have walk through any neighborhood. I mean, our cemeteries, they are our cities of the dead. They're right in the neighborhood. You grow up, you know, you grow up with the cemetery, not being on the outskirts somewhere. You grow up, grow up at the cemetery right in the neighborhood. I can walk a few blocks, I'm right there, there's the cemetery. You know, so we are reminded of death. We're small. A lot of people have died in a very small concentrated area. You take someplace like the French Quarter and think of the number of people that died in that small area. Again, dramatic.